So if you go out in Philadelphia, in West Philadelphia, to get a cheesesteak sandwich, sounds pretty good, doesn't it? From Jim's West, you're going to make sure that you're going to be able to eat that cheesecake sandwich in complete peace. It's going to be no shenanigans, because a dude outside on the sidewalk is going to be walking around with an AR-15. He's got a Kevlar vest on. He's going to keep you safe, and you are going to enjoy your cheesecake sandwich. Let's get into it. Here we go. So guards armed with, let's get this going. Guards armed with assault rifles are hired to protect Philadelphia cheesecake restaurant as violence spikes in the Democratic-led city. This is Daily Mail. They always throw in that Democratic-led city. We know Philadelphia is. Let's watch a little video. Let's just watch a scooch of a video. Let's see what they got going on. Here we go.
This. Yeah, Action News reporter Brianna Smith now joining us live with what people are saying about what they saw while waiting for their cheesesteaks.
Well, Shari and Gray, some customers say they appreciate the armed agents to keep them safe when they are out and just trying to eat. However, others argue it's alarming to see an AR-15.
I'm so excited. The food has always been good.
In my opinion, the best cheesesteak in town.
Residents are thrilled the original Jim's West Steaks in West Philadelphia is back in business.
Thank you.
But this time, customers can expect to see armed agents out front.
The violence has spiked. It's good, goes up and down. You want people to feel safe and to be safe, you know. So when they come out and eat, they don't have to worry about no type of harm.
Our lines are down the block, so while you standing here in line, connecting with other people that you may not know, we got security right here just to keep you guys safe.
The owners hope their presence prevents crimes.
It's not just myself. There usually be other agents who's sworn, certified through the state of Pennsylvania to do security work when they're off duty from doing what they're doing. All of us are former military, police, law enforcement background.
Other business owners have hired armed agents too, including the Carco gas station in North Philadelphia.
As a business, if you want to secure your business and you want to make sure everybody's safe, you got to spend that extra money.
While some customers support the enhanced security,
Safety and good food is always a plus.
If it deters it, I can't complain, I guess. But, I'm not exactly a big fan of guns, but I get it.
Others think it's not necessary outside of Jim's West.
Now, North Philly, where that gas station is, where the guys out there with the machine gun, I can understand that. But here, it's a little overkill. Even if you just had an armed guard, okay, but just walking around with a machine gun, it's not family friendly. I'm here to protect you. I'm not here to, cause any trouble or be that guy with the rifle.
Yeah, that's the goal, to keep it.
I find it ironic that the one white guy in line, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm not down with the guns. Don't like the guns. I like the cheesesteak, but don't like the guns. Don't like the guns. See the one, the gal with the Navy hat? She was like, yeah, I'm down with this. Safety and cheesesteak. I mean, who doesn't want that? Now, we'll get into it. I know I lied and said we're going to get right into it, but Philadelphia Cheesesteak restaurant has hired armed guards with assault rifles as zombified homeless drug addicts continue to plague the city. The original Jim's Steaks has reopened under the new name Jim's West and have added stricter security measures. It comes as the city has become overwhelmed by drug-fueled crime under Democrat District Attorney Larry Krasner, a self-described progressive prosecutor. We know what that means. It means prosecution isn't really happening. You commit a crime? You're a good human being. We believe in you. You go out, Tiger. We'll catch you next time. We'll catch you on the flip side. Catch you on the rebound. But this time, you go free. Yeah, I mean, I know he had 14 convictions before this and 35 outstanding, arrest warrants. But people make mistakes. They're all good though. His failure to crack down led to his impeachment in 2022 for dereliction of duty. However, he's remained in office after his trial was indefinitely postponed. What happened there? Jim's West co-owner Cortez Johnson told WPVI, the violence has spiked. It goes up and down. You want people to feel safe and be safe. So when they come out and eat, they don't have to worry about no type of harm. Okay. All right. Imagine being one of these security officers. All right. Are you guarding a bank today? Are you guarding a federal building? No, cheesesteak. Yep, we got cheesesteak going on. Here's the interesting thing. So I did a little Google. I don't have that map up, but where they're talking about the gas station, they showed that quick image of the gas station. Well, that's pretty close to Kensington. That is to the north and west by, I don't know, half a mile of the heart of Kensington. So that's why they make that reference. Okay, and here's that Philadelphia gas station owner hires heavily armed guards to protect business. We are tired of this nonsense. Totally get it. That was Mr. Patel. He was pissed off, and he's like, yeah, bring some machine guns up in here. Bring some AR-15s, some assault rifles, and we're going to call this good. So that area, I get that. What they're saying is that this is West Philadelphia, and this does not have the same influence that Kensington does. Because if you've seen any of the videos on Kensington, I started talking about Kensington probably, I don't know, was it a year ago? If you wanted to do a deep dive into my older podcast and tell me, you could do that. But it's been over the course of probably the last year where I started to watch videos of Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia. And I was like, hey, they've got a drug there. It's called xylazine. They're calling it trank dope. And you're going to start to hear about this. And you're hearing about this on other major media now. They're slow to pick up, but, only a certain degenerate watches a lot of YouTube to the point where you're like, oh, what is this Kensington Avenue? Boy, they've got a lot of zombies going on. What's the deal here? Well, they're shooting up some meth with some tranquilizer meant for horses. It's going to work out well. Crazy stuff, right? And then at the injection site of wherever they shoot up this trank dope, it tends to rot out the skin. They tend to get massive sores to the point where if they go unchecked, you got to amputate whatever limb they're attached to. It is some nasty stuff. And you're seeing that trank dope go all over the West Coast, all over the East Coast now too. One of the interesting things that I saw that I read not too long ago, and we'll look at some of these pictures, was that of all the fentanyl overdoses out there, the vast majority on the East Coast are cocaine, and on the West Coast, they're meth. So you either got coke or meth. Yeah. So here on the West Coast, we are a meth community, right? And that's laced with the fentanyl. So you got a combination of either coke and fentanyl or meth and fentanyl. And that's kind of what we're doing. All right. So here's the West Hoagies, West Steaks and Hoagies. Here's your traditional picture of Kensington Avenue. Man, I mean, look at all these places that are just closed up. And that's how it looks during the daytime as well. I mean, this area of Kensington Avenue is just it is not, it's not like the TV show with Danny DeVito. That's a good show, though. That's really good. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is it? On Kensington even? I mean, it might be sunny, but it doesn't feel like sunshine, right? The drug and crime-ridden streets of sunny Philadelphia have taken a dramatic toll on the community, on the safety of the community on a daily basis. But this location is way west. It's away from that. Different area, but still the owners are like, all right, we're going to reopen. And I needed to do some research and I didn't have a chance to do that. I wanted to find out why this store closed, but there are a couple of others. It looks like some kind of chain. They look like they're a decent size operation. And so I don't know, pandemic, whatever, remodeling, lost their lease. And the other one, don't know. But, yeah, this is a reopening. And when they reopened, they got guards with assault rifles. Here's the deal. I am totally okay with that. Desperate times call for desperate measures. All right. I mean, yes. Problem is, it should have never gotten to this point where if you want to get a cheesesteak, you got to be concerned about the guy with the machine gun runner or the assault rifle. Machine gun, that's an exaggeration, right? But I like the use of the word. He's got a machine gun. He can just pop off as many rounds as he needs to, right? Kensington, a neighborhood just a little over 8 miles from Jim's West, is known as Ground Zero for the city's drug epidemic, and it has become an open-air drug market. So you're 8 miles away. That is pretty far. So what we're saying here is that even 8 miles away from the epicenter of just the absolute sheer craziness that is Kensington Avenue, you've got business owners that sit down and pencil the numbers. And man, one of my first thoughts on this podcast was, you got to have a pretty damn successful cheesesteak restaurant in order to afford a dude walking around who is armored up like that. Cause that is not your everyday security guard, right? I mean, that's just not. So that's not your unarmed, high school flunky or whatever that oftentimes you get in some of these lower end security positions. The security positions that we see over in Seattle in the Amazon area, you got some folks that know how to handle business. They are folks, they're off-duty cops, they're whatever. And they're not low end of the totem pole because there's a hierarchy of security, right? And what you're seeing here, in my opinion, in my minimal opinion of knowing what security guards looks like, it looks like they are there to make sure that folks at Jim's West have an epic cheesesteak experience, right? And it's going to be crime-free. Yeah. Many of those drug addicts have been forced to turn to crime in order to survive and sustain their habits. Jim's West owners hope that the presence of the armed guards with assault rifles will deter the violence from entering their turf. I would say that's a good start. Whether it's going to do it entirely. You know what's crazy is people say, well, the police shouldn't have automatic weapons. They shouldn't have automatic weapons like that. Well, yeah, the drug dealers do. So, what do you got going on there? You got to fight fire with fire, right? So I would say that these owners of Jim's West, they are taking a very proactive and aggressive way to address public safety at their eatery, right? Each week from Thursday to Sunday, this is only Thursday to Sunday. I should make that very clear. Monday through Wednesday, no armed guards needed like this. Apparently that's what they're thinking. So what they're saying is, hey, the vast majority of incidents that we've seen happen at our location or at our other locations, it's been through the weekend, right? People get all hopped up. They get all worked up. They're so excited for the weekend that, stuff happens. So you need that guy with the AR-15. Each week from Thursday to Sunday, the guards are assigned to stand outside of the eatery, reported WPVI. Some customers understood the need for new heightened security measures, like resident Mario Malele, who said, if it deters it, I can't complain. I'm not a big fan of guns, but I get it. Well, if it keeps you safe, and your freedom is kind of based on guns, right? It is. If our military has them, well, things seem to be a little bit safer. That's kind of how this works. Now, I know people wig out about, I don't want to see guns in the sidewalk. Well, the bad guys have them, so others are not too keen about their favorite comfort food spot being posted up with armed guards. Now, North Philly, where that gas station is, talking about Kensington Avenue, it's close by, where the guy is out there with a machine gun. I can understand that. And we heard this, but it's worth talking about again. Here's a little overkill. Even if you have an armed guard, okay, but walking around with a machine gun, it's not family friendly. Alrighty then, but neither is shenanigans happening at your favorite cheesesteak eatery and maybe one of your family members being impacted by said shenanigans that are known to happen in Philadelphia. So a little bit of check and balance there, right? Other local businesses, including the Carco gas station in North Philadelphia, have also hired advanced security to combat the crime-ridden community. Now, okay, and we've basically covered all of this. Other businesses in Philadelphia have installed booby traps, like hidden sprinkler systems to ward off drug users and violent citizens. I've podcasted about that. What store owners are doing to try and keep, the unwanted element. And that was in the Kensington area. I can't believe there's any businesses operating in Kensington. I mean, that is just such a freak show of humanity. If you haven't seen any of those videos, just Google Kensington. But, I mean, try not to spend too long because you can go down that rabbit hole and go, all right, what's going to be on the next block? What am I going to see on the next block? Oh man, what was that? Yeah, you're going to have a bunch of that because you're going to be like, what? That's not good. Now, one of the things here is that this cheesesteak business has enough revenue to hire this kind of security guard. The vast majority of small businesses do not have it in their budget to hire Mr. Dude in Kevlar vest with the AR-15. They do not have that ability. It's just too damn expensive, right? You've got so many costs. I mean, when's the last time I go to a lot of teriyaki restaurants here in Seattle? Cause Seattle is, we're the pioneers of teriyaki. Some Japanese guy comes over and this is what we're doing. And then a whole bunch of Koreans just take off and say, oh, we're going to do teriyaki. And so I love teriyaki. I think teriyaki is amazing. It's probably all that sugar in the sauce. It's not good for you, but hey, sprinkle it, put that sauce on top of my chicken and my steak or my beef, and give me some rice and give me some good, we're going to call it salad, but whatever that mixture is of vegetables you throw in there with a whole bunch of dressing that's also laden with sugar. That's a delicious meal right there. But never in Seattle have I seen an armed guard at any of my favorite teriyakis. But cheesesteak in Philly? Well, I mean, if you want that safe experience, I'd say, yeah, this business clearly has a reputation. Vast majority of small teriyaki places here would not have the budget to be able to do that. And vast majority of most restaurants and small restaurants in Philadelphia are barely getting by. Getting through the whole pandemic was a massive deal. Just, there was some government assistance there. But when you have your business shut down and then you're trying to convince people to come back into a public environment after they've been told that they're basically going to die if they don't get the jab and if they don't wear a mask, getting people to come back out, especially in Democrat cities like Philadelphia. Here in Seattle, we've still got people wearing their masks in their car. With the last COVID scare, where, cases have gone up, I think we're all just tired of it, right? But cases have gone up a bunch. I'm hearing, I don't even pay attention anymore. And as a result, you got people in I notice it in Trader Joe's, a lot of folks in Trader Joe's wearing their mask. Like, all right, if you want to do you, I'm going to do me, but me involves no mask because, right? So, getting folks back into the restaurants was difficult. Most of these businesses do not have the financial reserves to make it go. They're already operating on these really thin margins. Then you had the whole George Floyd thing happen and places got rocked, especially in cities like Philadelphia, Chicago, Seattle, Portland, LA, San Francisco. Restaurants made it through that. And now, in areas where people are coming back, people are starting to come back out, right? And there's all this ongoing resurgence. We are seeing the numbers of pre-pandemic to now, and in cities that have done a good job of making their citizens feel safe, whatever that means clearing out homelessness from downtown. You're seeing more and more numbers of coming back to pre-pandemic numbers. But even then, during the, pre-pandemic, a lot of these restaurants wouldn't have had the budget for full-time armed security like this. So what you're looking at is an anomaly. And I think that is why this makes the news story. But I find it interesting. All right, these business owners, they are not messing around. They are willing to go the full Monty. And if you want to come mess with our patrons at Jim's West Cheesesteak, you're going to have to contend with Kevlar guy with his AR-15. And that seems to be deterring the unwanted element that everybody is so concerned about. Because you got drug dealers running all over and you got gangbangers running all over, right? I mean, let's call it what it is. And in Kensington, you've got just a whole bunch of zombies whacked out on the xylazine, the trank dope. And that's the influence there that's like, oh man, watch a few of those videos. You tell me what you think. Kensington Avenue. Oh, there's one park where it's like a concrete seated area around the perimeter of the park. That is the worst. I mean, you see people with just, needles dangling off their arms. You saw that maybe a year or so ago, but now it's so laden with fentanyl and the xylazine that they're all smoking it. They're all smoking it. It's just the most disgusting thing. But Philadelphia, I mean, it's, this is an example of how the lawlessness has forced its citizens and its business owners to really go what I almost call third world, which is, you see in a lot of third world countries, you see that quasi-military look of somebody securing something. And you're like, doesn't really look like army or whatever, but some faction of security. You're starting to get that faction of security in Philadelphia in the form of security for armed security for cheesesteak. It's damn good cheesesteak. If I go to, I keep talking about going to Kensington Avenue. If I do, I'm going to Jim's West. I got to see what this is all about. I want to wait on the sidewalk. I want to see what this is all about. All right. If you've been to Jim's West, let me know in the comments, or one of their, it looks like a chain, looks like a small local chain. All right. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you on the next one. Bye for now.